Well, hello folks. Yeah, it's been a while since I've posted anything on any music, Dulcimer music, etc. on Facebook or this site. But coincidentally, the last Saturday in March has been for a few years designated by Dulcimer aficionados as International Appalachian Dulcimer Day, IADD as it's affectionately called. So I thought I'd do a song. Now, the song I'm doing is called "Here Comes That Rainbow Again," and it's written by Kris Kristofferson, of course, who's a great songwriter, and I am a big fan. But the story behind this song comes from a book written by John Steinbeck. The book was called "The Grapes of Wrath." And we studied this book when I was in high school English, and I believe in some provinces in Canada it's now been banned. However, it was a great book and a great read, and it was a story of the Joad family, and they were folks that were dispossessed of their farm in Oklahoma because of the Great Depression, which happened in the 1930s. And there was no rain and lots of dust storms, and anyway, they couldn't grow a crop anymore, and they couldn't pay their mortgage, and they couldn't pay their taxes, so they loaded the clan up in an old truck and headed west to California to see if they could get work picking fruit. I can speak a little bit about the Great Depression of the 1930s because my dad lived through it. His folks homesteaded in southeastern Alberta, south of Hannah, and they too got dusted out during the 1930s. They didn't go to California to pick fruit, but they did have to move on. In Mr. Steinbeck's book, The Grapes of Wrath, he inserts what's called intercalary chapters, and these chapters are not about the plot of the story, but they're little chapters about what's happening to the economy and why, and in general the people that were involved in having to escape from the Dust Bowl. And of course most of them were from Oklahoma or Arkansas, Texas even, but anyway, for the most part they were called Okies. And at the time that they were called Okies, it was a derogatory term. It's become more of an accepted badge that the folks that are descended from the Okies wear. Anyway, this story is about a cafe along the road between Oklahoma and California, and the hard times, and an Okie family has stopped in to get some gas at the gas pump, and the dad of the family went into the cafe to see if he could buy a loaf of bread and a chunk of bologna so that his wife could make sandwiches for the family, because they couldn't afford to buy already made sandwiches or a meal in the cafe. And he did talk the waitress into selling him what he needed, and in the meantime he also gave his two sons a penny between them. He had hardly any money, and told them that they could get some penny candy. I think even in those days penny candy was worth more than a penny. Anyway, that's the gist of the story, and it's got kind of a sweet sentiment to it. So it's called Here Comes That Rainbow Again, written by Kris Kristofferson.
The scene was a small roadside cafe. The waitress was sweeping the floor. Two truck drivers drinking their coffee, and two oaky kids by the door. How much are them candies, they asked her. How much have you got, she replied. We've only a penny between us, them's two for a penny, she lied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, and the smell of the rain on the wind made it just like a human. Here comes that rainbow again. One truck driver called to the waitress after the kids went outside. Them candies ain't two for a penny, so what's it to you, she replied. In silence they finished their coffee, got up and nodded goodbye. She called, hey, you left too much money, so what's it to you, they replied. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, and the smell of the rain on the wind made it just like a human. Here comes that rainbow again. And the daylight grew heavy with thunder, and the smell of the rain on the wind made it just like a human. Here comes that rainbow again. Here comes that rainbow again.
Happy International Appalachian Dulcimer Day, and thank you.